Hello, welcome back to Blender Live Noding. In this episode, we're gonna take a look at a couple of ways we can manipulate text data using Sverchok. So let's just get started. Basically, there is one node that I can easily miss. It's called node, and this node is in particular is interesting because it will actually break every text into separate word based on space. So let's save this first. This is SV nodes, and this node, okay, this is a node that's a nodes that actually can store nodes like a text message, and you can type whatever here. By default, it say your text here. You can say apple, banana, carrot, durian, mango. So 5 words, and with these 5 words, you can right click and check with connect stethoscope. It crashes, but I'll restart real quick. Blender, show package, Mac OS. Let's reload real quick. So this with this text, if we use a stethoscope and plug the data, you can see that the data is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got separated by text. It's slightly different from the formula node. If we type it here, apple, banana, carrot, and plug into this guy, we will see that it's actually rejecting it at the moment. We need to perhaps turn it into a string. So now this is correct. This is just a single string of sentence, but this guy will separate it. So this is kind of interesting. And you can also have another method to do this. It's text in. So the text in node is interesting. Let's say we have like apple, banana, carrot, durian, mango, all separated with line. We can actually plug it into this guy right here, text in. If we load it, it's gonna give. It's actually giving an error. What's the error? Data not loaded. Okay, with this guy, make sure sometimes you need to enable force input and load it. Now, if we check the data, it's actually very similar to the one up here. Slightly different, but it's our words get separated anyway. So this one is kind of list inside a list. Keep that in mind. What's interesting about the nodes is that we can take advantage of the word separations. So if I just copy this guy right here, 5 words, I can just use from clipboard, and I get the text here, and they are all separated. So that's kind of faster way to do this. And if we are doing, let's say, random word generator, let's say we have like let's use a torus, and by default the torus have 576 points. So we want to generate maybe 576 word and generate random words. And this guy, we should be able to just copy and paste, copy the words, paste here. So we have 576 word here. Let's save it. Select all, and then select this node, and then get from clipboard. Now we have 576 word, and we can actually scatter, or actually not scatter, just put the words on every point of this torus. So get the objects using objects in, get selections, and from here we can use something cool, viewer index. And let's use the vertices and the matrices and plug in the text from this guy. So you can see we have 576 words all get instanced into the points of this torus. It's really tiny because I'm using this Retina Mac, but this can be something that's really handy, and it's really nice for visualizations. So now we know that we can kind of scatter words. What if we want to have real text, for example? Well, there is a typography viewer, so you can definitely use that. So if I just plug in the text and the matrices, I think it should generally work. Maybe I need to split the text or delete level. Yeah, I might need to delete level and actually plug in the vertices into the matrices. Yeah, I think something like that. That's like that's all the text we have being created on the points. So that's one way we can approach it. We probably need to center the text, but I think we can do that here. Center alignment. So it's still kind of giving like a weird error. Maybe this index out of range. Maybe I did something wrong here. Definitely need to use a... okay. Nope, that's wrong. 576. Oh well, it's giving out something. That's one way to do it. This is actually, each one of them is a text object. Another way is that you can easily just bake from viewer index. So if I delete the typography viewer, it's better to use typography viewer, but this is a quicker way. Show bake UI, select the font, 0.02 maybe, 0.04, and bake the text, and we should have text objects being generated. And this text objects by default is just the outline, but they are all Blender normal text objects. It's already baked. So if you want to make this into like a real 3D, go to the text objects, hold Option, select both. And if you want to extrude as well, you can do that. It's pretty easy. So there you go. That's how you want, if you want to change a lot of text objects at the same time, you hold the options. So this is how you do it. This is how you can use Sverchok nodes node. This node objects can separate a bunch of words very easily. I have a feeling that the length of this object is, see, it says 580. Yeah, that's why it's giving an error here with the typography viewer. Maybe there's an extra text somewhere. This guy can be useful for that. I think text in can be a little bit cleaner. It's just but the node itself is actually pretty handy to quickly plug it into the viewer index or just to store information here. So this is I guess just a quick way to do it. But of course, this is actually one node that can store like a bit of information. Sometimes there's one actually interesting trick. If you Control J and you have this frame, right? Each frame in Blender can store information. I didn't know this before, but apparently you can do that. You know, you can select the text, use it in frame, and then really store a bit of text there. Yeah, and give it a color. For example, this one have alpha as well, if I'm not wrong. But you can store information that way as well. This is a lot of ways you can kind of store a bit of information. Yeah, so that's a quick look at the node in Sverchok and how you can quickly kind of scatter text objects everywhere on the points of an object. So hopefully you find this useful. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.